Just this week, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was sworn in as the nation's youngest governor. She's already making headlines, signing a number of executive orders, including on education. Sanders served 2 years as the Trump White House press secretary. Former President Trump encouraged her to follow in her father's footsteps and run for governor. Now people are asking if she will ultimately support Trump in 2024. Governor Sanders joins us now for her first Sunday Show interview now that she's officially on the job. Governor, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thank you. It's great to be with you this morning.
Okay, so and we talked during the commercial about the fact that you're now growing up in the or your kids will grow up in the house where you grew up. Now that you're the governor, you have a different bedroom this time around, but it sounds like your daughter's going to grow up in the space you did as well. You hit the ground running this week after your inauguration, a number of executive orders. Some folks love them, some folks do not. Let's talk about your critics' reaction to some of these orders. One of them is called Executive Order to Prohibit Indoctrination and Critical Race Theory in Schools. The House Minority Leader there in Arkansas, a Democrat, says this: we can't support our teachers if we alienate and insult them with headline-grabbing executive orders. She says CRT is not being taught in Arkansas schools. Axios seems to back her up. They said, reality check, there's no indication that the college-level course is taught in any Arkansas public school. So if that's true, why the executive order?
It's incredibly important that we do things to protect the students in our state. We have to make sure that we are not indoctrinating our kids and that these policies and these ideas never see the light of day. We should never teach our kids to hate America or that America is a racist and evil country. In fact, it should be the exact opposite. We know for a fact that the Federal Department of Education issued CRT guidance and policies to every school district in the country. Our job is to protect the students, and we're going to take steps every single day to make sure we do exactly that. And that's the reason I signed the executive order. I'm proud of the fact that we're taking those steps, and we're going to continue to do it every single day that I'm in office.
Can teachers, though, still have the uncomfortable conversations about the sins of our past, about the things this country has gotten wrong?
Our teachers absolutely need to teach our history, but they shouldn't teach our kids and our students ideas to hate this country and to give a false premise about who we are and what we're about. And that is something that we have to make sure we protect our students from. We also need to make sure our teachers are actually focused on teaching our students reading, writing, science, math. These are the areas that we have to improve here in Arkansas. That's why one of the biggest and first things that I have laid out over the course of the 2 years during the campaign is a huge education reform package, making sure that we're focused on things like literacy, parental empowerment, accountability, career readiness, and making sure that we're protecting our students. We are going to do the largest, most aggressive, conservative education reform package here in the next legislative session in Arkansas.
So a number of the Democrats there say they want to work with you on these issues of education. They're with you. They're not for the idea of vouchers or of public money following kids to potentially to private schools or other places. They also point to the fact that you want to phase out the state income tax. And they say, listen, teachers in Arkansas are among the worst paid in the nation. They think things like rolling back that state income tax, that revenue source, is going to make it harder to up the pay and benefits for teachers there.
We are absolutely capable. We're currently spending 54% of our state budget on education, but we're not getting the results that our students and our parents deserve. We can and must do better with the money that we are already investing. With that, I absolutely think we can and we should raise teacher pay and put incentives where they need to be. We need to reward our hardworking teachers. That's part of the education package that we're going to roll out here in the next couple of weeks. But we also have to make sure that those teachers are delivering for our students and that parents are empowered to make the best decisions possible for how and where their kid can best be educated. We've got to take the power out of the hands of the bureaucrats and put it back into the hands of parents. There's nobody that knows better how their kid can best be educated, how their kid can best be put on a path to success than parents. And we have to empower parents to make those decisions, make those choices. No child should ever be trapped in a lifetime of poverty because of their bank account or their zip code. And that's something that's going to be stopped here in Arkansas.
So what about this idea, though, that vouchers, they say, are going to become unaccountable dollars if they go somewhere else, and they take money out of public schools where other kids are left behind? And if the schools are underperforming and the money's pulled out, it creates an untenable situation for those kids, too, who can't afford to go elsewhere.
You certainly have to have accountability in the process, and that's something that we will make sure that we have throughout education, is encouraging that accountability component. But competition breeds success. If a child is stuck in a school that is failing, that is unfair to the student. It's not about what is best for the school. It has to be about what is best for the student. And that is going to be our focus, is making sure that every child in the state of Arkansas has access to a quality education so that they can be put on a pathway to prosperity. And if we're not looking at it that way, I think we're looking at education all wrong.
Okay, another executive order that's gotten a lot of attention is one that says the word Latinx be eliminated from official government use. An opinion piece at another network says this: what Sanders has characterized as respect is actually a patronizing attempt to shut down a debate among Latin American descended people in the U.S. about how to name themselves. Why was that a priority for you in week one?
Our focus is, again, making sure we're protecting our citizens by not using culturally insensitive language. During the course of the transition, we saw multiple instances of this term being used and individuals actually on payroll with this term. And we want to make sure that we are focused on empowering our citizens. Only 3% of Hispanics actually use that term, and many find it offensive. And so our goal is to get that out of state government policy and practice.
Okay, so let's look ahead to 2024. Your bio on your official page as governor describes you as a, quote, trusted confidant of President Trump. Have you talked to him about his 24 run? Will you endorse him in that?
My focus right now has been on 2022, winning the election in November, preparing through transition and getting ready to take office as I did this past week. I love the president, have a great relationship with him. I know our country would be infinitely better off if he was in office right now instead of Joe Biden. But right now, my focus isn't 2024. It's focusing here in Arkansas and doing what we can to empower the people of this state and make sure that I'm delivering on the promises that I laid out over the course of the last 2 years.
What kind of timeline would you have for making a decision? Do you want to see who else gets into the primary? Will you wait for the nominee?
My focus isn't on 2024. It's on what we can deliver in this legislative session. I'm not going to set an arbitrary timeline. I'm not really focused on that at all, but focused on what we can do to impact change and deliver on the promises that we made during the campaign season here in Arkansas.
Okay, so there's already speculation about your future. A piece in New York Magazine's Intelligencer was written before the former president, announced he was running. It says, is Sarah Huckabee Sanders already auditioning for vice president? It says, too early for Sanders to run for the top spot, but what about Trump-Sanders 24? She's shown her loyalty to the former president repeatedly, and then said if the former president didn't run again, maybe DeSantis-Sanders would have a nice Sunbelt ring to it. You've just gotten sworn in. Do you already feel the pressure of future speculation?
I feel the pressure of delivering this legislative session. That's the only thing that our team and that I'm focused on, is delivering on what we laid out to do. And I look forward to serving as governor of Arkansas for a full 8 years. If the people of Arkansas will give me that privilege and that opportunity, I'm incredibly excited about what I think we have in front of us. And that's the only thing I'm spending my time focused on right now.
Strange to be back there in the mansion, though, this time as the governor, in a different room assignment, I assume?
Certainly a little bit different, and it'll be interesting. This will be the first time since Chelsea Clinton lived here that we will have elementary-aged kids in the governor's mansion. So a whole new ballgame with our 3 kids, but very excited about, again, the opportunity that is in front of us. And I know our kids are going to have as much fun growing up here as I did.
Governor Sanders, thank you for your time today.